Welcome back, you guys. My husband and I are headed out to the thrift store with a collaboration with Debi's Design Diary. We are going to go try to find a couple thrift flips that we can make over with some new DIY paint colors. Our first stop was Value Village. I love anything woodlands themed, so this little squirrel caught my eye, but I decided not to get it. Well, we struck out at Value Village, so we are going to try Goodwill. Usually Goodwill is priced even higher, so we'll see if we can find anything. If not, we'll just keep moving along to different thrift stores. I really loved this vase, but at $49.99 I was out. This shelf also caught my eye, but I knew I could build something like it out of scrap wood and shutter doors that I already have. I was so excited when I saw this mirror, but upon further inspection, I realized that it was just cheap plastic, so at $29.99 I was out. I thought this would be beautiful for the holidays, but there was only one, so I passed. Alright, so we struck out at Goodwill as well. The prices in there, as you can see, are extremely high, not anything that I'm looking to spend. So we are going to actually head back to Arlington and see some of the secondhand stores that are right downtown, see if we can find anything there. Next on our stop was this hidden gem called Arlington Pickers. It's located right off of Olympic in downtown Arlington, Washington. I love this shop for all the vintage goods. You never know what you're going to find, and the prices are often really great. So we struck out on all the thrift stores that we went to today, but we are gonna run home, we're gonna cook some dinner, and we will be back at it again probably sometime this weekend. On Saturday, we decided to visit the 1-800-GOT-JUNK garage sale. And again, you never know what you're gonna find here, and prices seem to be really great. They hold the garage sale every week. There is a ton of art supplies and craft supplies for really great prices, but this mirror caught my eye. While I struck out at all of my local thrift stores, I did end up finding this mirror behind me that belonged on top of a dresser. This came from the 1-800-JUNK garage sale that they have every Saturday here local to me. I would check with your area to see if they do something like that similar for you guys as well. But this is going to be my holiday project. I have big plans for it, and I'm going to make 2 projects out of this one mirror. The first thing that I want to do is go ahead and remove the mirror from the frame. Lucky for me, the cleaning process is going to be very simple because it is fairly clean. Really just needs to be dusted off, and then some other like spots that are on the mirror need to be scrubbed, but there's no oily or waxy buildup. So what I'm going to do is just use my glass cleaner and a microfiber cloth and just quickly wipe it down. Now that my mirror is clean, I have a few different options for protecting it for the painting process. I could opt not to do any sort of masking and instead take a razor blade at the end and spend probably a tedious amount of time trying to scrape off paint and primer. So I choose not to do that. I also choose not to do tape because I don't like wasting a bunch of blue painter's tape. Mirrors like this that are curvy end up being a very tedious process to go through and try to tape all of the curves. So instead, what I like to opt for is the Masking Liquid H2O. It's a brush-on masking product, and you do 2 thick coats, let it dry in between each coat. Of course, let it dry before you go in and start painting or priming. And at the end, you just score the edges of your mirror and it peels right back. So it makes it super easy, super quick. That's what I'm going to be doing here next. One of the things I love about this product is that you don't have to worry about not getting it on the wood. Of course, you don't want to leave a big glob on there that you'll see through your paint finish, but it's not a big deal if you get some excess overlap. I have a piece of scrap wood that I am going to be using for a shelf. And so what I'm gonna do is I will slide this down and mark it, and then I'm gonna cut it, that way it fits to size and it doesn't have this large overhang on both sides. After cutting it down to size, I used some wood glue to attach the top to the shelf. I then clamped it, pre-drilled some holes, and added screws for further strength. Next, I went through my stash of WoodUbend moldings and found some moldings that would be perfect for this. What makes these unique over other appliques on the market is that you heat them and you can bend them to fit around curves and edges. So this is actually leftovers from another project. As you can see, I cut out the centers and cut this big mold into several pieces. And so I placed those two pieces on the side. I'll be linking all of the supplies in the description below, so make sure to check there if you would like to know all of the exact products. I have my WoodUbend moldings on this piece, and now my next step is going to be to use my Pureco gray base and blocker primer, and this is just going to give me a porous surface for my paint to go over. It's not a necessity, I just prefer it for my painting style. While the primer was drying, I got to work on this mirror. I was saving this newer WoodUbend trim for the perfect project, and this mirror was it. Once I got the trim wrapped all the way around, I went in again with the same primer and did a quick coat. Now that both pieces are primed and drying, I want to introduce you to the 5 new Debi's Design Diary DIY paint colors that are releasing this holiday season. Walk on Water, Electrified, Flirtatious, Blood Moon, and Eden. I had been dying to do a colorful Christmas, and this is going to be perfect for my office decor. I started by blending Blood Moon and Flirtatious. Next, I blended in Mermaid Tail. When blending together a rainbow of colors, I like to have a brush separate for each color, and then you'll see me alternate back and forth between my brushes to blend out those colors. Next up is Electrified, which is probably my favorite color of this release. Lastly, I brushed in some Liquid Sunshine, and as you can see, this paint blends together so seamlessly as if it's melting together. I have my first coat on the mirror, and I know it looks like a rainbow threw up on it, but stick with me to the end because I have some plans on how I'm going to add some depth, some dimension to it, and how I'm going to incorporate this into a colorful Christmas. One of my favorite uses for Debi's Painterly line of paints is to use them to accentuate and highlight moldings. Here I'm using Love Language to highlight the top half of the mirror. Next, I'm taking Old Flame to add more dimension and another pop of color. Lastly, Glow Up was used to accentuate the bottom half of the mirror. After allowing the paint to dry, I came in with DIY Wax and Clear to deepen and to seal the paint. Once that was dry, I buffed it to a beautiful and durable finish. I scored the edges of the mirror with a box knife and peeled back that layer of masking. I gave the mirror one final clean, and this project was done. Because Because I love a good mix of color and neutrals, I wanted to do one project very colorful, and then I wanted to do another project a little bit more traditional. So the two colors that I'm going to be using on this stocking shelf holder is going to be Walk on Water and Eden. I gently blended my colors together throughout, giving it more of a cool hue. I then took my Iron Orchid Designs ink pad with the Bohemia stamp and I added some Scandinavian folk art inspired designs. I then took my Posca paint pen and added some depth to the center mold. I used my gold pen to color in the centers of each flower on the stamp. Once dry, I applied DIY clear wax all over. I wonder how the other collaborators' projects are turning out. I'll link all of the videos below so that you can follow the whole series. Around my moldings, I applied DIY black wax.
The stars brightly shining. It's the night.
After buffing, I brought in some pale gold Posh Chalk patina and I highlighted all of the edges of my moldings. I measured and installed some sawtooth hangers to the back and then used some macrame cordage to string through the old mirror holes. And this is how it turned out. Let me know what you think below.
A new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel.
I'm so pleased with how my projects turned out. While I decorate more traditionally for Christmas, the colorful palette really is so inspiring for my office. Are you team colorful Christmas or team traditional Christmas?
Christ was born. Oh, night.